All right, everyone, get ready. Because today we're diving deep into the wacky and wonderful world of food facts.
I love it.
Those little tidbits that make you stop and say, wait, hold on. Really?
Exactly, like those things you hear and just have to tell somebody.
Yeah, exactly. We've got 21 fun facts about food we bet you didn't know from Eat First. And trust me, it does not disappoint.
No, this is good stuff.
This is good stuff, so get ready to have your mind blown.
Buckle up.
So first up, let's talk about dark chocolate. I mean, who doesn't love a little dark chocolate?
Yeah.
But did you know that a bar of dark chocolate, we're talking at least 70% cocoa,
Okay.
can actually have more caffeine than a cup of coffee?
It's crazy, right? Well, I mean, obviously depends, like, what kind of coffee beans you're using,
Right.
how strong your brew is, but still, just the fact that it's even in the same ballpark, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah. And you know those flavonols that are in dark chocolate? Those are good for you. And they might actually help to lower your blood pressure
Oh, nice.
and fight inflammation. So it's like a
Yeah.
healthy indulgence.
Absolutely.
I like it.
A little guilt-free boost.
I'm in. I'm in. Okay, now let's talk about something equally delicious. How about nectarines? Have you ever thought about where that name comes from?
I feel like I should have, but no, I don't know.
I know, right?
Enlighten me.
Well, it means sweet, like nectar.
Oh, okay.
Simple.
That makes sense.
Elegant, and it's totally accurate.
Yeah.
I mean, you bite into a nectarine,
I just oh.
you get that sweet nectar. It's so good. And they've been around for a really long time. Thousands of years they've been cultivating nectarines in China.
Wow.
And, they're good for you.
Of course.
Vitamin C and A,
Hmm.
antioxidants, all that good stuff.
Yeah, they really are little nutritional powerhouses. And speaking of unexpected connections,
Okay.
did you know that raspberries are part of the rose family?
Wait a minute. What?
I know, right?
I would have never guessed that.
It's a little crazy, but they're not the only ones. Cherries, apricots, plums, pears, apples, and even strawberries. They all belong to the same family.
So like the ultimate family reunion.
Right. It's like a thorny, delicious family reunion.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now on to a topic that is sometimes a little controversial, protein.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
We've all heard that, you can't get enough protein on a plant-based diet.
Yeah, that's one of the big myths out there.
But get this, chickpeas and almonds can be just as protein-packed as steak.
Yeah. It's all about eating a variety of plant-based foods to make sure you're getting all the essential amino acids your body needs, you know?
It's mixing it up.
Exactly.
Okay, well, that's good to know. Now, let's be honest. Brussels sprouts, love them or hate them,
Oh, boy.
they have kind of a bad reputation.
Yeah, they get a bad rap.
I feel like everybody at some point in their life has had a bad experience with a Brussels sprout.
For sure.
But turns out they're actually nutritional powerhouses.
Oh, yeah. Tons of vitamins, minerals, and they're really low in calories. Plus, they're super filling. And, get this, they might even have anti-inflammatory and anti-cancer properties.
Brussels sprouts, the underdog.
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
don't underestimate the power of the Brussels sprout.
All right. Speaking of things that we might have misjudged,
Okay.
let's talk about pistachios. Everyone loves those little green nuts. Well, brace yourselves, they're not nuts at all.
Why
I
did...
know it blew my mind, too.
That is crazy.
Pistachios are actually classified as drupes, which puts them in the same category as cherries, peaches, and even olives.
What is a drupe?
That's what I said.
Yeah.
So a drupe is basically a fruit with a fleshy outer part and a hard pit or stone in the middle with a seed inside that pit.
Okay.
So yeah, we always think of them as nuts. They're in that little shell. They taste savory. They're delicious.
Yeah.
But botanically, they're actually a fruit.
That is so weird. So wait a minute. Does that mean pistachios are not as healthy as we thought?
Nope, still healthy. They still have all the same benefits as other nuts, like protein, fiber, and those healthy fats. It's just a little, like, fruit imposter.
Wow, I never would have guessed that. Okay. So we've had dark chocolate surprises. We've had raspberry surprises,
Yeah.
pistachio surprises.
Yep.
What else you got?
All right, well, how about this? The Caesar salad, everyone thinks it's Italian, right?
Yeah.
Nope. It actually originated in Tijuana, Mexico in 1927.
No way.
Yeah.
Seriously. I always thought it was some, fancy Italian chef who came up with it.
Right.
Some kind of elaborate recipe.
I know. And the story goes that this chef named Caesar Cardini, he was working at his restaurant and he was running low on supplies. And he's like, okay, I've got some romaine, I've got some Parmesan, what can I whip up? And bam.
The Caesar salad was born?
The Caesar salad was born. And you know what? Tijuana, to this day, they still have an annual Caesar salad festival.
Oh, that's cool.
Isn't that fun? I love it.
That is awesome.
All right. Let's talk about another food that has a surprising origin story. The avocado. Now, I know you might think it's a vegetable because it's always in those savory dishes,
Yeah.
but it's a fruit.
That's right. It's a fruit. And fun fact, they didn't even make it to Australia until 1840.
Oh, wow. I can't imagine a world without avocados.
I know, right?
And I love this. Did you know they call avocados alligator pears
Alligator pears. That's so cute.
and butter pears?
Oh,
They're so cute. They do look like little alligator pears, though.
They do. They totally do. And I mean, they're just amazing for you.
So good for you.
Vitamin C, E, K, B6. I mean, you name it.
They got it all. Okay, let's talk about Spam.
Okay.
This one, always a little mysterious.
Yeah, what's in that can?
What is in there? Well, the name kind of gives it away.
Diced ham, right?
Spiced ham.
Yeah.
But if you look at the ingredients, it's really not that crazy. It's pork, salt, water, potato starch, sugar, and sodium nitrate.
Huh, that's it.
That's it.
I always thought there were like tons of spices and, secret ingredients in there.
Right, but nope. Okay, you ready for this?
Hit me.
Oreos.
Oreos, yeah?
They're vegan.
What?
I know. There's no milk products or eggs in those classic cookies.
Wow. So our vegan friends can enjoy those delicious, creamy, chocolatey,
Oh, the layers?
all the layers, yeah.
Guilt-free.
That's awesome.
And apparently, there's an official vegan Oreo tote bag.
Of course there is.
I love that.
Why not?
Okay, are you ready for something that's a little bit,
What, a little controversial?
yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Some red food dyes are made from crushed bugs,
Crushed bug.
like actual insects. I know.
Oh, yuck.
And PETA has pointed out that this dye can be found in a lot of things.
Really? Like where?
We're talking candies, ketchup,
Oh, no.
soft drinks, even canned cherries.
So you're telling me, like, my maraschino cherries might have crushed bugs?
I have some crushed bugs in them.
That's both fascinating and horrifying.
Right.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, okay. But it gets a little weirder. Are you ready?
All right, lay it on me.
Some artificial vanilla flavoring
Okay.
comes from a goo
Okay.
secreted by beavers.
Beaver goo.
Beaver goo.
You're messing with me.
I know, it sounds crazy, but it's true.
Like, really? That's what they use?
Yes.
Wow. That's wild.
And it's technically considered a natural flavor.
Oh, sure.
Okay, here are two food origin stories that are going to blow your mind.
I'm ready.
California rolls
Yeah.
and Hawaiian pizza.
Okay.
Both invented in Canada.
What?
No.
way. Canada's like a secret culinary mastermind.
I know, right? So the California roll, it's actually born in Vancouver, thanks to a chef named Hidekazu Tojo.
Whoa.
And then Hawaiian pizza, that iconic pineapple top pizza,
It's so good.
that was just a Canadian chef's experiment.
Canada, you've been holding out on us.
I know. Okay, now for a food that literally glows in the dark. Peanut butter.
Wait, what?
Yes. After being exposed to intense light, it can actually emit a faint glow.
That's crazy.
I know, right? We need to test that out. But don't forget about all the great health benefits. Helps lower cholesterol, manage weight. It's a great source of protein, and it can even help with diabetes prevention.
Peanut butter really is the ultimate comfort food.
Right. Okay, now let's talk about hydration. We've got cucumbers versus watermelon.
Ooh, battle of the hydration heroes.
Which one has more water content?
I'm going to go with watermelon. It's got water right in the name,
Okay, that's fair.
but I have a feeling you're going to tell me I'm wrong.
It's actually a pretty close call, but cucumbers win with a whopping 95% water content
Wow.
compared to watermelon's 92%.
Okay, so I was close.
You were close. But honestly, they're both super hydrating and super low in calories.
So it's a win-win either way.
Exactly. All right, brace yourselves for this next one because it's a doozy. Bananas, pumpkins, and lemons are berries, but raspberries aren't.
Wait, what?
I know, it blew my mind too.
My whole world is upside down.
I know, it's like, hold on, time out. What's going on? So a true berry, from a botanical standpoint, has to develop from the ovary of a flower.
Okay.
And it has
Yeah.
to have these three distinct layers.
Mm-hmm.
The skin, the fleshy part that we eat, and the seeds. But raspberries,
Yeah.
they're imposters. They're aggregate fruits. They're actually made up of lots of tiny little fruits clustered together.
So it's like a bunch of mini fruits pretending to be one big fruit.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
That is crazy.
Okay, before we move on to the next batch of food facts, let's take a minute to appreciate the amazing banana.
Yes.
I love bananas.
Me too.
So good for you.
Yeah.
But they're also really fun. Like, Did you know the bananas can float?
They can float.
They can float.
No way.
Yeah. And if you get a mosquito bite,
Oh, yeah.
you can rub the inside of a banana peel on the bite, and it'll help with the itching.
Wow. I did not know that.
Yeah.
So bananas are like a little life hack,
They are.
a floating mosquito bite relieving.
And they're also, good for your nervous system, muscle recovery,
Mm-hmm.
brain function, all that good stuff.
Plus, they taste delicious.
So delicious. And here's the most impressive thing. They are considered the world's oldest fruit. They've found evidence of banana cultivation that dates back over 10,000 years.
Wow.
That means bananas have been around longer than civilization.
That's crazy. Bananas have seen it all.
They've seen it all.
The rise and fall of empires.
They've been there for it all.
Yeah.
All right, now let's talk about salmon. We all know salmon's pink, right?
Right. Of course, it's like the iconic pink fish.
But get this. The vibrant pink color in some farm-raised salmon is actually due to added dye.
Wait, seriously?
So wild salmon, they get their pink hue from eating krill and algae,
Okay.
which are rich in astaxanthin. It's a natural pigment.
Right.
But a lot of farm-raised salmon don't have that same diet, so their flesh can be kind of a pale pink or even grayish.
So they're basically getting a little makeup boost
Kinda.
to make them look more appealing.
Yeah. Some farmers will add astaxanthin to their feed
Oh, okay.
to give that salmon that, that beautiful color that we're used to.
So is there anything wrong with eating salmon that's been dyed pink?
Nope. Astaxanthin is actually good for us. It's a powerful antioxidant, and it's been linked to all sorts of health benefits.
So it's like a win-win. The salmon looks good, and we get extra antioxidants.
Exactly. Okay, this next one is for all the coriander haters out there.
Oh, yeah.
That soapy taste that some people get, it's not just them being picky.
Wait, really?
It's genetic.
No way.
It's all thanks to that OR6A2 gene.
Oh, that gene again?
That
Yeah.
gene, remember, that makes some people super sensitive to aldehydes. Well, coriander has those same aldehydes that you find in soap.
So for some people, they're literally tasting soap when they eat coriander.
It's science.
Wow, that's crazy. So it's not their fault. They can't help it.
It's their DNA. Okay, let's wrap up this first round of food facts with a story about a culinary invention born out of pure laziness. I'm talking about the sandwich.
The sandwich.
A classic. So the story goes that the Earl of Sandwich,
Oh, yeah, the Earl.
he loved to gamble, and he didn't want to stop his card games to eat. So he's like, bring me some meat, put it between 2 slices of bread, and I'll keep playing.
Oh, Ian.
And the sandwich was born.
Talk about a game changer. And speaking of sandwiches, did you know a corned beef sandwich was actually smuggled into space?
What?
No way.
Yeah, it's a true story. Astronaut John Young snuck one onto his spacecraft for like a 6-hour mission.
Seriously.
He was a big fan of corned beef.
I mean, can you blame him?
I know. But I have to wonder, weren't they worried about like crumbs and stuff floating around in zero gravity?
Well, apparently they weren't too happy about it. And, the sandwich didn't exactly hold up well in space.
Yeah, I bet it was a little messy.
A little messy. But the mission was a success, and the sandwich didn't cause any major disasters, so.
That's good.
All right, let's end this first batch of food facts with a little something sweet. We're talking about pound cake.
Oh, pound cake, yum. Now, it's called pound cake, but it doesn't actually weigh a pound.
You're right, it doesn't. Why is that?
The name comes from the original recipe. It called for a pound each of butter, sugar, eggs, and flour.
Oh, okay. So it was like a pound of everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, last but not least, we've got a truth about figs that might make you rethink your snack choices. Are you ready? Figs might not be totally vegan.
What? Hold on a second. Why not?
Okay, so figs, they rely on these tiny wasps to pollinate them.
Okay.
And sometimes those wasps get trapped inside the fruit
Oh.
and they die.
Oh, no.
But don't worry, by the time we eat the fig, there's no trace of the wasp left.
Okay, that makes me feel a little better, but still, that's crazy.
You're right.
Who knew figs had such a, complicated backstory?
I know, it really makes you think there's so much more to learn about the food we eat.
It really makes you appreciate the journey, from farm to table, or in this case, maybe from fig to wasp to table.
And all the little secrets in between.
Right, exactly. I love that.
Well, stay tuned for more wild and wacky food facts in part 2 of our deep dive.
Can't wait. It's true. Like we were saying before, nature is full of these weird connections.
I know, right?
And just makes you think, what else don't we know?
Exactly.
Okay, speaking of things that make you go, let's talk about coriander. Some people love it. Some people absolutely hate it.
Oh, yeah. Coriander, that's a big one.
It's very polarizing.
It is. It's like you either love it or you think it tastes like soap.
And for those people who say it tastes like soap, there's actually a scientific explanation for that.
Wait, really? So it's not just them being dramatic.
No, it's not just them being picky eaters. It all comes down to, you guessed it, genetics.
That gene again.
That's right, OR6A2.
It's everywhere.
It's back to haunt us, or, well, maybe just haunt the coriander haters. So remember how we were talking about aldehydes?
Yeah, those chemical compounds that some people are really sensitive to.
Exactly. Well, coriander contains those same aldehydes that are found in, you guessed it, soap.
So they're actually tasting soap when they eat coriander. That's wild.
It's science, my friend.
I'm a believer. Okay, let's talk about another food that causes some confusion. The tomato. Is it a fruit or a vegetable?
Ooh, good question.
I've heard arguments for both sides.
The tomato is a bit of a culinary chameleon.
I like that.
Technically, botanically speaking, it is a fruit because it develops from the ovary of a flower and it contains seeds. But, when you think about how it's used in cooking,
Yeah.
it's often treated more like a vegetable. It's savory, it's in salads.
It's in sauces, it's in all those savory dishes.
Right, exactly. So it's kind of a fruit masquerading as a vegetable.
I love it. The tomato, the undercover fruit.
Okay, are you ready for a food fact that's going to blow your mind?
Hit me. I love these.
Honey,
Honey, yeah.
it never spoils.
Wait, what?
It's true. Archaeologists have found pots of honey in ancient Egyptian tombs that are thousands of years old.
Wow.
And guess what? The honey was still edible.
That's incredible. How is that even possible?
Honey is basically a superfood when it comes to longevity.
Okay.
It's got this incredibly low moisture content,
Right.
which means bacteria and other microorganisms, they just can't really grow in it.
It's like a fortress against spoilage.
Exactly. Plus, it's got that high sugar content
Okay.
and a naturally acidic pH.
So it's like triple protection.
Trickle protection.
Amazing. So honey is basically the ultimate survival food.
I mean, if you ever find yourself in a time machine,
Right.
take some honey with you.
Exactly. Okay, here's a fun fact to impress your friends. The world's most expensive spice is saffron.
Saffron. Oh, yeah. It's
Yeah.
like the gold standard of spices.
Literally. So saffron comes from the stigmas of this specific type of crocus flower,
Okay.
and it takes something like 75,000 flowers to produce just 1 pound of saffron.
Wow. No wonder it's so expensive.
That's a lot of flowers.
It's like back-breaking labor for a tiny amount of spice.
Right. I guess that's why they call it red gold.
Uh-huh.
All right, get ready for another botanical switcheroo. Peanuts aren't actually nuts.
Wait, what? What are they then?
They're legumes. They grow underground,
Oh, right.
unlike real nuts that grow on trees.
So they're more like beans and lentils.
Exactly. They're in the same family.
Huh. So even though they're not technically nuts, they're still good for you.
Totally. They've got protein, fiber, healthy fats, all that good stuff.
Okay, so they're just little legumes in disguise. I like it.
Okay, here's a fun fact that's a little bit alarming.
Hmm.
Nutmeg in large doses is actually toxic.
Wait, seriously? I love nutmeg.
Don't worry, a little sprinkle on your latte or in your cookies is totally fine.
Okay, good.
But nutmeg contains this compound called myristicin,
Mm-hmm.
and if you eat too much of it, it can actually have hallucinogenic and psychoactive effects.
Wow. So nutmeg is basically a party drug in disguise.
I guess you could say that. But seriously, folks, don't go overboard with the nutmeg.
Duly noted. A pinch for flavor, not a handful for hallucinations.
Exactly. Okay, let's talk about a food that's both delicious and incredibly good for you. Blueberries. Did you know that they're one of the most antioxidant-rich foods on the planet?
Blueberries are like the superstars of the fruit world.
They are packed with anthocyanins,
Oh, okay.
which are these powerful antioxidants that have been linked to all sorts of health benefits.
Like what?
Improved heart health, brain function, even cancer prevention.
Wow.
They're basically little blue dynamos fighting free radicals.
I'm gonna go eat a bowl of blueberries right now.
Okay, well, hold on just a second because this next fact might make you think twice before you bite into that next apple. Apple seeds contain cyanide.
Wait, what?
I know, it sounds scary. But don't worry, you'd have to eat a lot of apple seeds to actually experience any harmful effects.
Okay, that's a relief. I was about to start meticulously removing all the seeds from my apples. But still, it's crazy to think that something so common could have a little bit of danger lurking inside.
I know. It just goes to show, even the most innocent-looking foods can have a dark side.
That's for sure. Okay, let's switch gears a little bit and talk about a food that's been a staple in human diets for centuries.
Rice.
Rice. Did you know that there are over 40,000 varieties of rice in the world?
Wow. 40,000. That's insane.
It's incredible, right? Rice is so diverse, and it's a staple food for billions of people around the globe.
It's amazing how it's adapted to grow in so many different climates and conditions.
And think about all the different types of rice. Short grain, sticky rice, long grain, aromatic rice. I mean, the possibilities are endless.
I feel like I've only scratched the surface of the rice world.
There's so much to explore. All right, are you ready for another berry shocker?
Lay it on me, I'm ready.
Watermelon is a berry.
Hold on, what?
It's true.
But it's so big.
I know, right? It doesn't really fit the image we have in our heads when we think of berry.
Like those little tiny things you pick off a bush.
Exactly. But technically, watermelon belongs to the cucurbit family, along with cucumbers, pumpkins, and squash.
Oh.
And remember how we talked about the botanical definition of a berry?
Yeah, it has to develop from the ovary of a flower and contain seeds.
Well, watermelon fits the bill.
So it's a giant berry. I love it.
Okay, get ready for this one. Cashew nuts aren't actually nuts either.
Wait, what? Is nothing sacred?
They're seeds that grow on the bottom of a fruit called a cashew apple.
A cashew apple. What in the world is a cashew apple?
It's this fleshy, pear-shaped fruit that grows on the cashew tree.
Okay.
And the cashew nut is literally just the seed that's attached to the bottom of it.
So it's like a bonus seed.
Exactly. And you know what's even crazier? The cashew apple is actually edible, and it's pretty tasty.
Seriously. People eat the cashew apple.
Yeah, it's often used to make juices and jams. Some people even use it to make alcoholic drinks.
Wow. I need to try a cashew apple.
You do. It's a whole other part of the cashew experience that most people don't even know about.
I feel like we're really expanding our culinary horizons today.
We are. All right, let's talk about a breakfast staple that might not be as healthy as you think. Orange juice.
Orange juice. But it's full of vitamin C.
It is, but it's also very high in sugar, like a lot of sugar.
Really?
You know how everyone's always saying to limit soda because of the sugar content?
Yeah.
Well, some orange juices can have just as much sugar as a can of soda.
Wow. I had no idea.
Shit, really sneaky.
I always thought I was making a healthy choice when I reached for that OJ.
It's better to eat a whole orange.
Really?
That way you get all the fiber, you get all the nutrients, but you're not getting that concentrated dose of sugar.
Okay, that makes sense. I'm definitely going to start eating more whole oranges.
And less sugary, OJ.
Deal. All right, get ready to be amazed by the sheer size of this next fact. The world record for the largest pizza ever made was over 131 feet in diameter.
131 feet.
That's like the size of a small apartment building.
That is a lot of pizza. I can't even imagine how many people it would take to eat that whole thing.
It would be the ultimate pizza party. Okay, brace yourself for this next one. It's a little bit, well, it might make your skin crawl a little bit. Some cheeses actually contain mites.
Mites, like bugs in the cheese.
Yeah. Certain types of aged cheese, like mimolette,
Okay.
they're intentionally infested with these tiny little creatures called cheese mites.
Intentionally.
Intentionally.
Why?
Well, they actually burrow into the rind, and they contribute to the flavor and the texture of the cheese.
Oh, okay. So they're like little cheese artisans.
Exactly.
But still, the idea of bugs in my cheese is a little bit,
It's a little unsettling, I get it.
But hey, if they're helping to make delicious cheese, I can try to be open-minded.
That's the spirit. Okay, this next one might make you look at mushrooms in a whole new way. Mushrooms are actually more closely related to humans than they are to plants.
Wait, what? That's wild!
I know, right?
Mushrooms are basically our distant cousins.
Distant cousins.
Yeah.
So mushrooms belong to the fungi kingdom, which is closer to the animal kingdom than the plant kingdom.
That's amazing.
So next time you're enjoying a portobello mushroom, just remember, you're basically having dinner with a relative.
Okay, that's both cool and a little weird.
The world of food is full of surprises, isn't it? Okay, how about this? Square watermelons exist.
Square watermelons.
Square watermelon.
Is this a joke?
No, I'm serious.
That's amazing.
They're a novelty fruit that they grow in Japan.
Of course it's Japan.
I know, right?
They always have the coolest stuff.
They do. So they actually grow them in these special square-shaped molds.
Wow. So it's not like a different type of watermelon, it's just shaped differently.
Yeah, it's just a regular watermelon that's been, molded into a square.
That's brilliant. I wonder if they taste different.
Nope, the flavor's the same,
Yeah.
but the square shape actually makes them easier to store and transport.
Oh, that makes sense.
And they just look really cool.
Yeah, like a little watermelon box.
Okay, here's a food fact that's both strange and a little bit romantic. chocolate actually contains a chemical that makes you feel happy and in love.
Wait, really? So chocolate is basically a love potion.
I, it kind of is.
That explains a lot.
So chocolate contains this neurotransmitter called phenylethylamine, and it's associated with feelings of happiness, excitement, and attraction.
So eating chocolate is like a little boost of love.
Exactly.
Huh.
And it also contains theobromine, which is a stimulant that can give you a mood boost.
All right, you've convinced me.
Yeah.
Pass the chocolate. Okay, are you ready for this next one?
Hmm.
It's a little bit gross, but also kind of fascinating. The most expensive coffee in the world is made from coffee beans that have been eaten and, digested by an animal called a civet.
Wait, what?
Yep, you heard that right. It's called Kopi Luwak coffee. And basically, these civet cats, they eat the coffee cherries.
Okay.
And then the beans pass through their digestive system.
Oh.
And then, they get collected and processed into coffee.
So people are drinking coffee beans that have been pooped out by an animal.
Essentially, yes.
That is both disgusting and weirdly intriguing.
I know, right? And apparently, the civet's digestive enzymes actually break down some of the bitterness in the coffee beans. So it's supposed to have this really smooth, rich flavor. But I don't know, the whole poop aspect kind of ruins it for me.
Yeah, I think I'll stick to my regular coffee, thanks.
Okay, how about this one? There's a fruit that's known for its smell, and it's either a love it or hate it kind of thing. We're talking about the durian fruit.
Oh yeah, durian. I've heard about that one.
It's pretty infamous.
It's like the stinky cheese of the fruit world.
Yeah. It's native to Southeast Asia, and it's got this spiky outer shell and creamy flesh inside.
Okay.
But it's the smell that really makes it stand out.
I've heard it's pretty intense.
It's very potent. Some people describe it as smelling like gym socks, sewage, even rotting flesh.
Okay, that's a pretty wide range of unpleasant aromas.
Yeah, it's definitely not for the faint of heart.
I don't know if I'm brave enough to try durian.
It's an adventure for the senses, that's for sure. Okay, how about a little bit of food history? Did you know that potato chips were invented by accident?
Really?
Totally by chance. Back in 1853, there was this chef named George Crumb, and he was working at a resort in Saratoga Springs, New York. And one day, a customer complained that his French fries were too thick.
Oh no.
So Crumb, in a fit of frustration, he sliced the potatoes paper thin, fried them until they were crispy, and seasoned them with salt.
Like, take that.
Exactly. And guess what? The customer loved them. And that's how potato chips were born.
Wow. What a happy accident. I'm so glad that chef got a little salty that day.
Right. Otherwise, we might not have this delicious snack.
Okay, let's talk about ice cream. Did you know that ice cream was invented in China over 4,000 years ago?
Wow, really? 4,000 years ago?
Yep. The ancient Chinese were way ahead of the game when it came to frozen treats. They created this mixture of ice, rice, and milk.
Interesting. So it wasn't like the ice cream we know today, but it was the ancestor of our modern dessert.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool.
Speaking of cool, how about this? Champagne can only be called champagne if it comes from the Champagne region of France.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I've heard about that. It's like a protected name or something.
Exactly. Champagne is a sparkling wine that's produced in that specific region of France using a very particular method of fermentation.
Okay.
And it's protected by a designation of origin. So only sparkling wines from that region can be called champagne.
So everything else is just sparkling wine?
Yep. It's kind of like how Parmesan cheese can only be called Parmesan cheese if it comes from a specific region of Italy.
Right. It's all about protecting the authenticity and the tradition of the product.
Exactly. Okay, let's talk about spice.
Ooh, I love spicy food.
Me too. So, chilies get their heat from a compound called capsaicin.
Capsaicin? Yeah, I've heard of that. It's like the stuff that makes your mouth burn.
Exactly. It's a chemical that binds to pain receptors in our mouths, which creates that sensation of heat.
So it's basically tricking our brains into thinking our mouths are on fire.
Pretty much. It's amazing how our bodies work, isn't it?
It is. It's like we're enjoying the pain.
Okay, are you ready for a food fact that might make you chuckle?
Hit me.
Ketchup used to be sold as medicine.
Wait, what? Ketchup? Like the stuff we put on our fries?
The very same. Back in the 1800s, they marketed it as a cure for all sorts of things, like indigestion, diarrhea, even rheumatism.
Ketchup, the cure-all condiment.
Exactly. It's come a long way since then.
That's for sure. Okay, how about this? Sushi is actually a fermented food.
Really? I never
Actually,
knew that.
it's true. The rice that's used in sushi, it's fermented with vinegar.
Oh, okay.
And that's what gives it that characteristic sour flavor and that sticky texture that we all know and love.
So it's not just about the raw fish and the perfectly rolled rice.
Yeah.
There's a whole fermentation process involved.
Exactly. There's so much more to sushi than meets the eye.
I love it. Okay, here's a food fact that might make you want to stock up on garlic. Garlic is said to repel vampires.
Oh, that's right. The classic vampire repellent.
So garlic contains this compound called allicin, and it's known for its antibacterial and antiviral properties.
Right, so it's actually good for you.
Super good for you.
But does it really keep vampires away?
I guess you'll have to find a vampire and test it out.
I think I'll pass on that experiment, but I'll definitely keep eating my garlic just in case. Okay, let's go back to tropical fruits for a minute. Did you know that coconuts are actually a type of fruit called a drupe?
A drupe? That's like a cherry or a peach, right?
Exactly. Drupes have that hard outer shell, a fleshy middle layer, and a seed inside.
So a coconut is basically a giant hairy peach.
You could say that. It's pretty amazing how diverse the drupe family is, isn't it?
It is.
Okay, how about this one? Broccoli is actually a flower.
Wait, what? The broccoli we eat is a flower.
Yep. It's part of the cruciferous vegetable family, and the part we eat is the immature flower head.
So when we eat broccoli, we're basically eating tiny little broccoli bouquets.
Exactly.
That's kind of adorable.
It is. Okay, here's one for all the bakers out there. Vanilla extract is made from the seed pods of orchids.
Really?
Yep. Specific type of orchid.
Huh. I never knew that. So those little brown bottles of vanilla extract are actually concentrated orchid essence.
Pretty much. They take the seed pods, they cure them, and ferment them to produce that flavorful extract that we use in all sorts of delicious things.
Wow, I'm going to look at vanilla extract in a whole new light now. Okay, let's talk about nuts again. Macadamia nuts are the hardest nuts to crack.
Oh, yeah, macadamia nuts. Those are tough.
They have incredibly hard shells,
Mm-hmm.
and it takes special equipment to crack them open.
Which is probably why they're so expensive. Okay, here's a food fact that might make you blush a little. The word avocado comes from the Aztec word ahuacatl, which means testicle.
Wait, what? Seriously?
Yep. Apparently, the Aztecs thought avocados kind of resembled, well, you know.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a memorable origin story.
It is. It's definitely not something you forget easily.
Okay, how about this? There's a fruit that tastes like chocolate pudding.
Wait, what? A fruit that tastes like chocolate pudding. I need to know more.
It's called the black sapote, and it's also known as the chocolate pudding fruit.
Black sapote. Okay, I'm adding that to my shopping list.
You should. Okay, here's a fact that your dentist might appreciate. Sugar is the only food that can cause cavities.
Oh, yeah. Sugar is definitely public enemy #1 when it comes to dental health.
It's true. So bacteria in our mouths, they feed on the sugar, and they produce these acids that erode tooth enamel, which leads to those dreaded cavities.
So we've got to keep those sugar bugs in check.
Brush, floss, and maybe cut back on the sweets. Okay, how about this for a sweet celebration? The world's tallest wedding cake was over 20 feet tall.
20 feet? That's taller than my house.
I know, right? That's a lot of cake.
I wonder how many people it took to bake that thing.
Okay, here's a fact that might make you feel a little bit better about those salty cravings.
Yeah.
Popcorn is a whole grain.
Popcorn, the stuff we munch on at the movies.
Yep. It's a type of corn kernel that explodes when it's heated, and it's a good source of fiber and antioxidants.
Wow. So popcorn is actually good for you.
It is. So go ahead and enjoy that next bucket of popcorn guilt-free.
Okay, speaking of guilt-free beverages, did you know that tea is the second most consumed beverage in the world?
After water, right?
Exactly. Billions of people around the world enjoy tea every day. And there are so many different kinds, from black tea to green tea to herbal tea.
I love tea. It's so versatile and comforting.
It is. Okay, get ready for another botanical curveball. Wasabi is actually a member of the cabbage family.
Wait, what? Wasabi, the green stuff that's so spicy, it clears your sinuses.
Yep. It's a root vegetable that's related to cabbage, horseradish, and mustard.
Wow, I would never have guessed that. It tastes so different from those other vegetables.
That's the beauty of nature, always full of surprises.
Okay, are you ready for a cheese fact that's a little bit, well, adventurous?
Lay it on me, I'm ready for anything.
There's a type of cheese that's made with maggots.
Maggots, like actual live maggots.
Yep, it's called casu marzu, and it's a traditional Sardinian sheep milk cheese.
Okay, that's one cheese I'm going to have to pass on.
I don't blame you.
I think I'll stick to my cheddar and brie, thanks. Okay, how about this? Salt is the only rock that humans eat.
Wait, is that true?
It is. Salt is a mineral, and it's essential for human health.
Wow. It's amazing how something so simple can be so important.
It is. Okay, let's talk about food etiquette for a second. Did you know that in some cultures, it's considered rude to finish all the food on your plate?
Really?
Yeah. In some cultures, leaving a little bit of food on your plate is a way of showing your host that they've provided you with enough to eat.
Oh, that's interesting. I guess food customs can vary so much from culture to culture.
They really do. It's important to be mindful of those differences, especially when you're traveling.
Speaking of travel, how about this? There are over 1,000 varieties of bananas in the world.
1,000 varieties. That's amazing.
I know, right? And we only ever see like 2 or 3 types at the grocery store.
Right. There's a whole world of bananas out there just waiting to be explored.
Okay, here's a food fact that might make you check the ingredients list on your favorite snacks. Artificial strawberry flavoring is often derived from a substance called castoreum.
Castoreum, what's that?
It's a secretion from beaver anal glands.
Well, wait, hold on. Beaver anal glands.
Yep,
You're messing with me, right?
I'm totally serious. It's a natural flavoring agent, and it's used in all sorts of things. Ice cream, candy, even chewing gum.
Wow, that's both disgusting and fascinating at the same time.
I know, right? It's one of those food facts that just makes you go, huh, I never knew that. Okay, let's talk about wine for a minute. Did you know that wine grapes are the only fruit that contains the necessary components for making wine?
Really?
Yep. They have the perfect balance of sugars, acids, and tannins, which are essential for the fermentation process.
So it's not just any old fruit that can be turned into wine.
Nope. Wine grapes are special.
I guess that's why wine has been enjoyed for thousands of years. Okay, how about this? Gummy bears were originally made with gum arabic, which is a sap derived from acacia trees.
Gum arabic. That sounds pretty natural.
It is. It's a natural emulsifier and thickener, and it's used in all sorts of foods.
Huh. I always thought gummy bears were made with, like, artificial ingredients.
Nope, they have a surprisingly natural origin.
Okay, here's a food fact that might make you want to go on a road trip.
Hmm.
The world's largest ball of twine is located in Cocker City, Kansas.
A ball of twine, really?
Yep, it weighs over 20,000 pounds and is over 40 feet in circumference.
That's a lot of twine. I wonder how long it took to make that thing.
I know, right? It's a sight to behold. Okay, let's talk about licorice. It's made from the root of the licorice plant.
Licorice root.
Yep, it's a natural sweetener that's used to flavor all sorts of candies and beverages.
I've never been a huge fan of licorice, but I'm always willing to try new things.
That's the spirit. Okay, here's another food etiquette tip.
Mm.
In some cultures, it's considered a compliment to the chef to slurp your soup.
Really? So slurping is encouraged.
In some places, yes. In Japan, for example, slurping your soup is a way of showing the chef that you're enjoying their meal.
Interesting. I guess it's all about perspective, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about luxury fruits. The world's most expensive fruit is the Japanese Yubari King melon.
Yubari King melon, what's so special about that?
These melons are known for their perfectly round shape,
Okay.
their sweet and juicy flesh,
Mm-hmm.
and their incredibly high price tag.
How high are we talking?
We're talking thousands of dollars.
Thousands of dollars for a melon.
For a pair of melons, actually, they're
Wow.
sold in pairs.
Wow. That's insane. I wonder what they taste like. I know, right? Thousands of dollars. I bet they're delicious, though.
I'm sure they are. Maybe someday we'll get to try one.
A girl can dream. Okay, let's get real for a second and talk about food waste.
Okay.
Did you know that it takes over 1,000 gallons of water to produce just 1 pound of beef?
Wow. 1,000 gallons.
It's a lot.
That's crazy.
And the meat industry, it's a major contributor to water usage and greenhouse gas emissions.
Yeah, that's a really important thing to consider. It's not just about the food itself, it's about the whole process of getting that food to our plates.
Exactly. Okay, speaking of food choices, how about this? Insects are actually a really sustainable source of protein.
Insects, like bugs.
Bugs! And you know what? They're consumed by billions of people around the world.
I know, I've heard about that.
It's true.
But I don't know if I'm quite ready to try a cricket burger.
It's definitely a cultural thing,
Yeah.
but they are super nutritious.
Okay, fair enough. All right, another food etiquette tip. In some cultures, it's considered rude to refuse food when it's offered to you.
Oh, that's interesting. I can see how that could be a little tricky to navigate.
Right.
Like, what if you're really full?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But in a lot of cultures, offering food is a sign of hospitality.
Mm.
And refusing it can be seen as, like, a little disrespectful. So it's just something to be mindful of, you know?
Definitely. Okay, how about this? Cheese is actually a living organism.
Wait, what? cheese is alive.
Well, kind of. It contains all these bacteria and enzymes that are constantly breaking down those milk proteins and fats.
Oh, okay.
And that's what causes the cheese to ripen and develop its flavor.
So cheese is like constantly evolving.
In a way, yes.
That's so cool. Okay, back to spicy things.
hmm
The world's hottest chili pepper is the Carolina Reaper.
Oh, the Carolina Reaper. I've heard about that one. It's supposed to be insanely hot.
It is. It has a Scoville heat unit rating of over 2 million.
2 million. That's just crazy. I can't even imagine how hot that must be.
Yeah, it's definitely not for the faint of heart. Okay, let's end on a slightly sweeter note. Did you know that there are over 2,000 varieties of apples in the world?
2,000. Wow.
They come in all sorts of colors, shapes, sizes, and flavors. I feel like I've barely scratched the surface of the apple world.
Me too. It makes you realize just how diverse and amazing the world of food really is.
Absolutely. There's always something new to discover. Well, folks, that's a wrap on our deep dive into the world of food facts.
That was so much fun.
I know, right? We learned so much. It really makes you appreciate all the weird and wonderful things that we eat. And it definitely makes you want to be a little more adventurous in the kitchen.
Totally. So next time you're at the grocery store or browsing through a cookbook, remember all the amazing stories behind the food you choose.
And who knows? You might even discover a new favorite food fact of your own.
Happy eating, everyone.
Thanks for joining us.